Tiffany Daniel says, when you have children, would you be putting them in private Christian school or homeschool, assuming you wouldn't put them in public school? Let us, how about this? As we answer that question, you guys in the live chat, tell us where you go or where you went. Did you go to public school throughout? Were you private school? Were you homeschool? I'd like to see the ratio.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was homeschooled for the most part. Morgan was kind of half and half.
End of seventh grade, I was taken out and I was homeschooled / went to a co-op, which is where you go like 2 days a week to a school for homeschoolers. We will be homeschooling our kids. I would love to put them in co-ops. Like, we both went to co-ops, yeah. There's several really good ones around where we live. Where they would go to school 1 to maybe 3 days a week.
Yeah, I like that idea as well. That's what we're thinking. You know, when it comes to public school, especially maybe in some smaller towns, I do think there can be areas where it's more safe, and you can have more confidence in what's being taught from the teachers. But in reality, this is how I feel. There's just so much unknown, and your kids are there so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally, they're spending half their life there, their young lives, pretty much.
Yeah, it's wild.
Do you really, and you guys can let us know in the comments, do you really want to leave that much up to chance? 1, what's being taught from the teachers, and 2, what they're learning from their classmates who are coming from all kinds of different walks of life. I just feel like that to me, I don't see enough of the positives to outweigh the negatives. That's my personal opinion.
But you gotta do what you gotta do. And I think, honestly, as we just continue down this path of craziness, schools and the teachers and just the people in the schools are just kind of getting more intense and just like, I don't know, it's just wild.
It feels like
things that we're hearing.
It feels like the school systems are kind of following suit with what we just see overall in culture and what culture is pushing, again, from media, from Hollywood. And it's just, I mean, it really is. It's the spirit of culture being kind of packaged as love and inclusion, love yourself, anything goes. And so are we like that surprised that it's just really infiltrated and being embraced in this public school system?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And don't get us wrong, there are a lot of still amazing school teachers out there in public schools, but sadly I do think that we might possibly get to a point in time where it doesn't really matter how amazing and like Christ-like and godly you are as a teacher. Like, you're gonna be forced to teach things that you don't agree with, and it's like, how do you go on with that? I would want to go find a private school or a co-op that I could teach at where I stood like in agreement with what I was teaching and how I was treating these and handling situations with these kids.
That's a good point. And I do agree with Morgan. I appreciate teachers. I appreciate godly teachers in the public school setting.
Paul was a teacher.
I taught in the public school setting for a brief while. Did a lot of substitute teaching, so I do appreciate aspects of that. I appreciate you teachers. Use wisdom. Brooklyn says private school, Lego, public school. Don't do private school, skiing says. Public school, sadly, Dakota Hanson says. Public in New Zealand. Charter school, homeschooled, public, Christian school, private school, Catholic school, private school, homeschooled my kids now. It's my first year, but I went to public school. So it looks like public school is definitely the majority.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Those of you who are just Bible-loving Christians, maybe now you're out of school or you're still right in it. Do you feel like I, through my own experience, feel good about sending my kids to public school?
Amy, thank you for your super chat, Amy Ray. Don't you think it's good to have your Christian child be a light in a public school for evangelism reasons?
Wow, very interesting point there, Amy Ray.
So that, I feel like, is definitely a common like thing that people bring up.
A common misconception.
No, just a point that people bring up when they're trying to decide, like, well, but wouldn't it be good for my kids to go to school and be a light? I don't know. Honestly, in my opinion, I'm just like, I don't know if it's my child's job to be a light when they're in kindergarten. Like, yes, it's their job to be a light always in their life. Like, I don't know.
To me, and you guys tell me what you think.
It's just a lot of pressure to put on a kindergartner.
It feels a little bit like a parent when their kid is, say, 5, 6, 7, a parent giving them a ton of freedom and a ton of letting them make their own decisions at this young age because they want to cultivate. I just want them to be able to come up with it on their own. And I look at that and I'm like, a parent, especially to a child in these young formative years, their primary job is to be that authority figure that is instructing them in the biblical truth, in what is right and wrong. So when it comes to like your kids are supposed to be lights or can be lights in the public school system, these are such formative years. And that's, like Morgan said, that's a lot of pressure. That's expecting a lot for your 7-year-old to be more of a light to the secular peers that he's surrounded by, and even perhaps his teacher, rather than him getting or her getting more influenced by the secular coming in. I just feel like that's taking a big risk. If you look at your child's situation when they're maybe, say, a freshman in high school, a sophomore in high school, and you're like, this person is so solid in their faith and they're so evangelistic, then maybe you can, this is my opinion, then maybe be more inclined to explore that. But I even think for myself, and I consider myself having a heart for the Lord. At 14, I gave myself, gave my life to the Lord, a very real moment. But even then, I think about getting sent to a private Christian school as a junior and looking back on that time and being like, Paul, why weren't you more bold about your Christian faith? Why were you so kind of like almost scared why were you so wanting to fit in? And it's like, that's me as a junior.
Yeah, I think honestly the best way we can train them to be evangelists and to be a light is by like being with them for a good amount of time, way more than they are in public school. And so having those hours of school and training and training up in the way that they should go. And then, you know, when we start to recognize, wow, like our kid is like really just getting it and walking with the Lord in a deep way. And they could be 5 years old. They could be, 16 years old, whatever. Then we can find times and places to put them in positions and whatever experiences to put them in to where they can reach out, to where they can be a light, whether that's putting them on the soccer team of the public school or whatever. I don't think you can just put your kid on a public school soccer team, but you know what I'm saying, like find those times and those situations. But yeah, that's our perspectives. Yeah. Kayla, thank you for your super chat.
Thank you, Kayla.
How should we as Christians navigate a friendship with someone who tempts us? Friends who try to persuade you to engage in sin, witchcraft, polygamy.
Oh.
Cut it off.
Whoa.
If you are being tempted and they're not just tempting you, but like trying to literally persuade you to engage in this crap, you get out. That's not a true friend, in my opinion. That's a really dangerous relationship to be in, and I wouldn't want to mess with that at all. Maybe that's harsh, but you know, you got to recognize that, like, hey, and this is not anything, on you, but recognize, you know what, right now I'm like, but it's not even that you're too weak. It's just like, this person is trying to persuade you. Why would you even want to be that close with them if they cannot respect where you're at in your walk with the Lord? Like, I would just say, hey, we're going to go our separate ways. God bless you. I'm praying for you.
Yeah, it makes me think of Psalm 1. Let's see. Psalm 1 says, "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord." And it goes on. Jesus was so amazing in it kind of goes back to the public school a little bit. It's like Jesus could go into these sitting with tax collectors and sinners and be such a light there, but we got to be so careful when we develop these really close friendships, these yokes, unequally yoked, and we're over here walking out life with someone who is literally trying to pull us into an ungodly lifestyle. We got to be super vigilant and super careful with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, journals are in. They are being customized as we speak.
Yep.
I believe last time I checked on Patreon earlier today, we've already had 11 people sign up.
That is crazy.
For Patreon.
You guys are awesome.
I know. I love it. We are hashtag on the road to 300.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
247 patrons is where we're at right now.
We literally have 247 patrons. So that means there's 19 more spots. If you sign up for $5 or more on Patreon by November 29th, you will get this Have Hope and Be Free journal with a customized note inside. Please do it. Do it. We will link it below. Hop on there. Get them before they're gone. Get them before they are gone.
Okay. Octavia B, thank you for your super chat. I'm struggling with my mental health again. Eating disorders / ED mindset, especially anxiety, depression. I just can't get out of these mindsets / thoughts. Well, I am very sorry to hear that you were struggling with that.
Yeah.
I can relate very much.
I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I feel like you will have a good answer to this.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm very sorry for that struggle. I get it, and it's not an easy struggle. I'm sure that there are plenty of people on here that can relate to that. But my biggest encouragement to you is make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people, even if it's literally just 2 people, whatever, who are going to walk with you through this and encourage you and lift you up and pour into you and remind you to stay in the Word and remind you to worship the Father and worship with you through these challenging times. Be in prayer. Journal out your prayers so that you can read them out loud to the Father and so that you can look back one day at your history with the Lord of like, wow, God, like you brought me out of this. And I would just say declare freedom over your life and your mind. Declare freedom from anxiety, depression, eating disorders, these things going on in your mind. Like, just kind of, I think part of the getting away from those issues or stepping out of those struggles is just declaring freedom over yourself of, I'm a child of God. He has given me a power and authority over the enemy and the arrows that he throws my way. Psalms 18 was one of my favorite chapters of the Bible to read during my really deep depression, and I just would read it all the time out loud. I would walk around the house just reading it, claiming it, and just believing that was going to be for me as well, just the Lord coming down from on high and reaching hold of me and protecting me from my enemy, the enemy. So I hope that answers some of your question. Well, it wasn't really a question, but I hope that encourages you. Okay.
Squishy, you took my spot.
Oh, Squishy.
That's right. Move it or lose it.
Johanna. Okay, she said, I had to cut down due to too many words. I was responding to the accusation of fertility treatments. Okay, I see. Well, thank you for your super chat.
Yes, thank you.
Patriot Raven. Hello, and thank you for your super chat. Been talking to this girl. Feels like I have a really close and deep connection with her. I want things to be slow, but she seems to want to rush into it.
Patriot Raven, you dog.
Man.
You lady killer.
Lady killer. That's just weird. Don't say that.
That's a popular term, lady killer.
You godly guy.
You appealing to the lady folk. I'll stop.
The dog is not scared of Paul. Squishy just loves me. Okay, she's obsessed with me.
It is weird.
Well, we would say you're in charge, you know? Well, okay, whatever. You both are in charge. But, you know, however...
Oh, the feminists are going to hate that.
However slow you want this to go is, like, how slow it's going to go. I mean, have a conversation with her, remind her, let her know, encourage her, like, hey, I really want to take this slow. So that I can get to know you and we can just, be friends first before anything else.
Okay. Here you go. From the love guru.
Appealing to the lady folk, Kendra says.
Kendra, that is a much more tasteful way to say it. Raven, Patriot Raven, appealing to the lady folk. That is better than lady killer.
Agreed.
Rhonda Boyd, thank you for your super chat. We appreciate it. And Georgia. Is it Georgia or Georgia?
Georgia. Why do you have to make things so crazy?
Thank you, Georgia.
It's literally spelled Georgia. And he's over here Georgia.
What's going through my mind?
Oh, Kendra said Paul. That's what you said.
What did I say?
Oh. Appealing to the lady folk.
Oh, well, I don't know my own genius. I don't know my own genius with words.
Thank you, Georgia, for your super chat.
Thank you, Georgia.
Goodness
Sorry.
gracious.
Sorry about the name.
Woo.
Let's see. Oh, Bruh Meme says, all the kids at my church youth group are Christians, but they listen to bad music, swear. Why are you laughing? This is serious.
I'm sorry. Go on.
This is serious.
Yes.
He is rending his heart.
I'm sorry. It's not about you, buddy. I mean, it is about you. I was just thinking about something else.
What?
Go on.
Now you gotta spill.
No.
Now you gotta spill.
No.
Now you...
I was just thinking about the appealing to lady folk. Okay, now go on.
All right. Sorry, bruh meme. So, they're Christians at your youth group. They're Christian, but they listen to bad music, swear, and disrespect the pastor by using their phones during talks. What should I do? That sounds like a bunch of losers. I'm sorry.
It just sounds like a bunch of punks.
Okay. Youth group. Does youth group normally entail, like, high school, middle school? It can be any... let's assume...
Youth group, we'll assume high school.
We'll assume this is a high school youth group.
Yes.
If they are listening to bad music and swearing, I would say challenge them.
Yeah.
And see how they respond
or talk to your pastor.
Yeah, and maybe your pastor can challenge them. Mm-hmm. See how they respond to a loving rebuke. Guys, why are you listening to crap and swearing? Okay, well, that kind of makes sense. You're listening to crap that you're probably going to swear if you're listening to a whole bunch of junk. Why are you guys living like the world? Like, this is supposed to be a Christian youth group. Let's look different from the world and invite people into a holy way of life. I know that in high school, you know, I got called out for sagging once. I told Morgan this.
You told me this yesterday.
Didn't mean that my heart wasn't for the Lord, but there was some rebelliousness in me. And so lovingly, I needed people to challenge me and encourage me. Paul, how's your walk with the Lord doing? So it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have a walk with the Lord if they're listening to some bad music and swearing, but they probably should be pressed on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Michaela Huffman is in the house. What's up, Michaela? Good to see you here.
Hey, girl, we literally said hey to her like 40 minutes
We're
ago.
in my experience, both as a student and a staff member, kids rarely get the chance to actually be light. Usually, the secular education plus other kids are bigger influences on them. So Michaela's pretty much seconding where we were coming from with sending your kids to public school.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Michaela. Timmy to Jesus Freak says, thank you for your super chat. Fleeing from temptation is definitely a biblical practice. It's not cowardice, it's obedience. That's good. Mary Elizabeth super chat. Morgan, I was about to say something similar. I felt being homeschooled made us much more confident because we grew up with good peer pressure. Love that.
Nice.
Love that. Kayla Way, thank you for your super chat. Thank you so much for your answer. I was worried I would be acting weak in my faith by not continuing to try to witness to them. Kayla,
oh no, girl.
Don't fall into that.
Yeah.
And you see, and I'm just going to go ahead and be a little bit savage here. You see who I would consider oftentimes watered down Christians that are so into, we're always hanging out with secular people. My best friends are non-Christians. And it's like, and I guess in their minds, they've convinced themselves that this is the way to do it. But then I look at them and I'm like, you guys look more like them than they look like Christians.
Right.
I'm not saying that's a blanket statement. I do think some people truly have such evangelistic hearts and they can totally be set apart from the world while still engaging, but it's just, you got to be really careful.
Yeah, you can still be friends. You can be friends with people who are not believers, but there's a difference between like being friends and then yoking yourself. Paul and I had this conversation recently just about yoking yourself together with people who are not believers or just like are way, you know, like whatever. That is definitely a different thing. And so, it's nothing on your faith or you're not weak because you can't minister to them.
That's wisdom. And Rachel Ballard says, Paul, your energy is on fire. Let's go. Thank you for your super chat, Rachel. That just makes my energy even more on fire. Let's go.
Oh, dear.
Let's go. Georgia says, with another super chat, what's your guys' view of IVF as Christians? Thanks in advance, and hello from England, by the way. Hello from England there, Georgia.
Oh, dear.
What? Georgia, we already talked a little bit about IVF.
Yeah, you maybe weren't in this chat when we said it. It was a little more towards the beginning, so I would say when this live is over, maybe watch back. But I personally I don't feel great about IVF, so.
We're trying some other fertility treatments that are, what would you just describe them?
It's not as invasive. It doesn't create life and then like put them in a can and freeze them forever. Like, it's much more minimal.
We're going with the more on the hormone side and stuff like that for now. Michaela with a super chat says, I don't have a question. I just like supporting you guys.
Oh,
you're awesome, Michaela. Thank you. Michaela Huffman in the house. Corlani Seal says, thankful Morgan said my name first. Bless you, Paul. Wait.
Because I pronounced her name right.
Did I pronounce it wrong?
Well, no, but had you been the first one to say it, you might have.
Okay, I can take a hint. I can take a hint.
Guys, we have to go like now. Ah! Morgan, your outfit is so cute and wow. Morgan, your outfit is so cute and you are so stylish. Thank you, Rachel.
Aw, that's sweet.
I mean, I'm really just in black leggings and a, colorful shirt and another colorful shirt, but thank you, girl. Antsy A, thank you for your super chats.
You guys have come through on the super chats like nobody's business.
Someone asked a while back, 12 hours of what when you were explaining our Patreon.
12 hours of straight up. All right, so real quick, this needs to be super, super fast. When we hit 300 patrons, we're at 247 right now. When we hit 300, we will be going live on YouTube for 12 hours. During that time, we're just going to go throughout our day, but our patrons are going to get to write in and pick how we spend our day, what we're going to do. It could get wild. It could get crazy. Let's keep it within reason, but literally, you guys tell us what you want us to do. Go stand on a street corner and sing. Who knows? Go eat something crazy. 12 hours straight live stream. It's going to be wild when we hit 300 patrons, and we are getting close.
do a Patreon Zoom later so I can join in California or do it on Saturday. Miss you guys, Tiffany says.
Tiffany,
I miss you too.
When's our next?
Yes, we'll try to schedule this next one for Saturday.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you, Tiffany.
Or later, yes. Vivian says, guys, I really hope you read this, heart. Please tell us what you think about the lockdowns in Europe, only for the unvaccinated people. Any advice for us? It's so hard to live in Germany right now. Oh,
wow,
girl.
dude. Literally, that makes me really angry.
Yeah. It's just, the things that are going on around us and with us and whatever in other countries, it's wild. I don't know what my advice is other than like
I'd be out protesting.
Yeah.
I'd be taken to the streets.
Yeah.
With the other protesters and getting involved.
Yeah, don't be afraid to speak out and push back. Like, yeah.
That's the thing, like, push back when there's some hope. Like, once the freedom is taken away, it's going to be even harder. But that's why I'm, like, trying to stir the troops here in the USA when we see, and there's been different times when, like, our governments, local government, bigger government has tried, and, like, you know, I'm just encouraging us to try to find ways to push back in a healthy, godly way.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother topic, but I think there's definitely a place for that.
Yeah.
Stand up for our Constitution and freedoms. In these other countries that don't have a Constitution like America does, it gets even more tricky. So God give you guys wisdom.
Yes. Seek the Lord, and He will lead. Okay, guys, this was a wild live chat.
This was popping. This was hopping and popping.
We were hopping and popping. I feel bad. Like, we just didn't get to... I mean, we got to a lot of questions. Never mind. Scratch that.
We got to a lot of questions, but there was so many of you guys asking good questions. Like, we could just keep going. Maybe during our 12-hour live stream when we hit 300 patrons, at least some of that can be...
Oh, my goodness, yes. Like, where there's going to be so much conversation going on in those 12 hours.
But there's also got to be, like, us out doing stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Definitely. Okay, guys, we love you all. We'll see you on Thursday, live reporting to you.
Live reporting to you.
From here, our couch.
P&M Studio. We will most likely have a topic. So, honestly, you guys... If you all follow kind of like the vibes of what we do on our channel and the topics that we get into, it really is nice when you all write us in, maybe DM us on Instagram, say, or comment below these videos and say, hey, can you guys cover this? And maybe we'll cover it.
We just might. All right. See you on Thursday. Love you guys. Have hope.
And be free. Thanks for joining, guys.
Bye. Bye, Miss American Pie. Bye.